Ashburg was the kind of town people forgot on purpose. Tucked between miles of dead cornfields and a river that never reflected the sky quite right, it barely showed up on maps. If you blinked while driving through rural Pennsylvania, you missed it. One gas station, one diner, one church with a bell that rang even when no one pulled the rope. The first thing you noticed in Ashburg was the silence. Not peaceful silence. Watching silence. On the night journalist Ethan Cole arrived, that silence felt heavier than fog. His car headlights cut through the darkness as the "Welcome to Ashburg" sign flickered, then briefly changed. "Welcome to Ashburg. We've been waiting." Ethan slammed the brakes. He blinked. The sign returned to normal. Old wiring, he told himself. Small towns loved bad jokes. Still, his heart refused to slow down as he drove on, the road narrowing like it was guiding him somewhere he hadn't agreed to go. Ashburg had been losing people. No bodies. No crime scenes. Just disappearances. Entire families sometimes. Federal databases showed gaps. Birth certificates without deaths. Houses sold by no one. And every case led back to one thing: Ashburg's founding in 1846. Ethan parked outside the only motel. The neon sign buzzed like an insect trapped in glass. Inside, the clerk didn't ask for his ID. "You're in room 6, the old man said, already handing over the key. "How did you?" Ethan started. The clerk smiled. "Everyone stays in room 6. The smile lingered too long. At exactly 2:17 a.m., Ethan woke up. The church bell rang once. Slow. Deep. Like it was ringing inside his chest. Then again. He checked his phone. No signal. No time. Just static where the lock screen should be. Outside his window, the streetlights flickered in a rhythm that felt intentional. 3 rings. That's when he heard footsteps in the hallway. Not walking. Dragging. Ethan held his breath as a shadow slid under the door, stretching unnaturally, like it was being pulled by something unseen. The handle twisted once. Then stopped. Silence. Morning came like nothing happened. The diner was open. Coffee was hot. People smiled. Too wide. Too synchronized. "Church bell woke you?" the waitress asked, pouring his coffee before he spoke. "Yeah. Why does it ring at night?" She froze for half a second. "Just enough to remind us," she said softly. "Of what?" "That Ashburg is still hungry." The spoon in Ethan's cup began to vibrate. He laughed nervously. Hungry for what? Everyone in the diner turned to look at him. No one answered. At the town archive, Ethan found records that made his stomach twist. Ashburg's founders were listed, but the same names appeared every 50 years. Same spelling. Same ages. No descendants. No graves. The bell rang again. Midday. People stopped moving. Cars stalled. Birds dropped from the sky like stones. And then Ethan saw them. Standing at the edge of town were figures that looked human until you focused. Their limbs bent wrong. Faces stretched like masks pulled too tight. Their eyes were pits, endless and familiar, like he'd seen them in dreams he couldn't remember. A hand gripped his shoulder. "Don't look at them," whispered a woman behind him. "They don't like being seen early." "Who are they?" Ethan asked. She swallowed. "Us. Or what's left." She told him the truth in a rush, like confession. Ashburg wasn't founded. It was bargained. In 1846, settlers made a deal with something beneath the river, an old thing that fed on memory, identity, and time. In exchange for prosperity, Ashburg would offer it people. Slowly, quietly, the town learned to recycle itself. Same names, same roles, new skins. No one ever truly left. And the missing people? Ethan asked. The woman's eyes filled with tears. They weren't missing. They were ripe. The bell rang again. This time, it rang for him. The ground trembled. Cracks split the road, leaking black water that smelled like rust and rot. The figures moved closer, their steps echoing the bell's rhythm. Run! The woman screamed. If you can still remember who you are, run. Ethan ran. The edge of town kept moving. Every street looped back. Houses changed places. The motel appeared again. Room 6, a door was open. Inside, the mirror showed him older. Thinner. Smiling wrong. You can stay, the reflection whispered. We'll take care of you. The bell rang one last time. Ethan screamed as hands dragged him into the floor, into the dark beneath Ashburg, where names dissolved and time folded in on itself. Weeks later, a new journalist arrived. The clerk handed over a key. Room 6, he said, smiling. Outside, the sign flickered. Welcome to Ashburg. We've been waiting.